Okay, here we go. Hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres, and I'm gonna carry on with the saga of making hay in 2019. All right, so it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm a little bit later than I thought it would be, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter. And here's what I use to make hay. All right, this is about a 30-year-old tractor. All right, 45 horsepower. Nothing to write home about. It's been damaged a couple times and refixed, and but it still does everything it did when it was brand new. Everything. All right, so it's in good shape. Runs real good. I take pretty good care of it. And then here's the baler. This is a 1970s model, so this is practically sparkling new compared to the other stuff. And I'll kind of show you how it works here. There's a shaft that comes off of the tractor. It's called power takeoff shaft. And there's two hydraulic lines. All right, the power takeoff shaft turns this whole assembly. There's belts in there. I'll show you these belts. 6 of them, and those things are really long when you take them out of here, and they're under a pretty good amount of tension right now, and offsetting that tension is some big springs. I'll show them to you. They're over here. Oh, we can see them better over here. There's 3 here and there's 3 on the other side. So as the bale starts to form, there's pressure on it from those belts, and the pressure comes from these springs. So the bigger the bale gets, the more pressure is on it. And when you get it to a certain weight, which this thing did come with a way to know how heavy it was. It's long since been disabled because they didn't work very good. Then you operate a handle on the tractor, which sends hydraulic pressure to this back hatch. And this whole thing is a hatch. See where it says bounder there? That whole hatch opens up, and then the bale rolls out. And it literally does. It rolls out to a certain point, and then there's another lever in there that's on a catch. It's got spring pressure on it as well, and as soon as it goes over that, it trips it and it kicks it out a little bit further. All right, so it's pretty neat. I don't know how they had that technology back in the 70s. It seems like they weren't able to do stuff like that in the 70s. Oh yeah, that's right, we went to the moon in '68. So this thing is really just a compilation of small systems that, if they're all working, it makes a pretty decent bale. And this thing has made thousands of bales for me, and I got it from who knows how many owners ago. But the guy that I got it from passed away, and it wound up at a sale, and I didn't pay very much for it, for what I got. So I'll just tell you, I paid $2 grand for it. And that might seem like a lot, but I'm able to bale up all the hay off this place in an afternoon. So this machine will do a lot of work. The antithesis of that would be a square baler that will kick a square bale out the back, and then somebody's got to go out there and pick them up. And I'm not into that. That's that picture of hard work there. Yeah, not really into that. So these bales come out, they're 1,000-something pounds, 1,500 pounds maybe, and we pick them up with a spear, load them on a trailer. It's called a hay wagon, and I might as well show you that while we're over here. Right there, there's the hay wagon. And then I will back up to the hay wagon with the same tractor that I'm picking them up with, and bring them up, unload them up here, and then arrange them into that building right there. And then when I start putting them in there, they're going to be there till next spring, because the first ones I put in are the last ones that we use. Okay, so we're going to be feeding second cutting stuff first. Now some guys do it a different way. They'll put it in front, you can load from both ends on this particular building, but I don't. I only load from one end. Okay, now something else to note here is once the bale is made, then we have to wrap that bale with twine in order to hold it together through the winter. And to do that, you use this stuff. It's called thistle. You can get plastic. You've seen the orange plastic baling twine. But I'm trying to fight global warming, so I use this, and anything that I can do to get there, I feel like it helps. I feel like maybe if I was using the plastic, we probably wouldn't be even making any hay because we would have been flooded out by now. Oh, that's right, it is flooding. Anyway, when I'm ready to, when the bale is made, there's a switch up here that I can hit. And every year, what I do is, the first thing I do is make sure that the electric is going to work. The electric runs a actuator up here. I'll just run it for you so you can see it. And it puts the string out, and as the bale's turning around and around and around, it wraps it, and then it has cutters on both sides that cut the string. And this particular baler was designed to have 2 stringers on it, so it strings twice as fast, and it's really nice. It works very good. Now this baler, when it was new, it had bells and whistles on it that I don't need, and literally bells and whistles. Like, it had a bell that when the bale was the size you wanted, you would get a bell that would go off up here. When I got it, it didn't work, and I thought, I don't really need to fix that, because all I have to do is turn my head and I can see how big my bale is by where this set of contacts is. So when it hits that line right there, or anything close to that line, I'm done. I kick it out the back. And when you're doing this and you're making several hundred bales, or in my case I make about 200 bales, it gets to be very routine. I mean, it happens very quickly, and before you know it, you're just in a groove and you're making bale after bale after bale. And then what's neat is you're all done with a field, and you stand up on the tractor seat and you look out there and you count the bales, and it's a pretty good feeling, right? It's a pretty good feeling. So I've had this thing a long time. I don't think I would change it out because it is working very well. I did have a problem with it today, though. Actually, I had a little wiring problem with it, and I think part of the fun of being in the farming business is when you have a problem and you're able to fix your problem and then continue on, you know, like continue the mission. So I had to go through it with a meter, and I had to find out where my wiring problem was. And when I did, I thought this was kind of cool. I have this kit. It's my terminal kit, and I have all my electrical terminals in here. They're all organized. I'll show you this. This is just a little victory that I had today. All my terminals are in there, and here's my thing for terminal pliers for squishing, and I get some black tape in there and a few other things. But when I have to make a repair, an electrical repair on something like this, instead of, you know, fooling around having to find things, I just go and find my terminal kit, and it's got everything in it that I need. And I had the repair done, no joke, in less than 10 minutes. And when you have a bunch of kids and they're all working on stuff, sometimes you have to have kits like that you hide, because electrical problems are never ending, you know, they're just never ending. And I did a really good repair on it, and I put a new plug in place here. All right, so this box that's on here, the control box, stays with the tractor all the time. It's mounted right there, so I have easy access to it, and that is what controls the the actuator. All right. So pretty cool. I'm getting ready to start. It's 2:30. If I'm going by 3 o'clock, I figure I can get her done. A really good dent in it today, if not finish. And the next thing for me will be tonight at 8 o'clock. We have our live chat, Acres Green Acres YouTube, 8 o'clock. I'll be there. I'm going to break off haying and come in and do the YouTube chat. And I had a couple people call this week with some good questions, and I asked them if they would possibly mind tuning in so they could ask the questions so we could inform everybody of how we do what they were asking. So if you have any questions about haying or anything like that, you can call me tonight. Again, like, I'm pretty new at this. I mean, I've been at it for 20 years or so, but I have neighbors that have done this since they were born. You know, they've just been born into it, and they have far more expertise than I do. But I'm able to come and show you what I'm doing because I think it's important to show these things. All right, it's Mark from Baker's Green Acres. We'll see you tonight.